With regards to the ICCPR Act that has been passed in Sri Lanka, in principle, the Act is, there's nothing wrong with it. As we all know, I think it is the mistakes come, the breaches come actually in the implementation of the law. And in that respect, we are completely on board with the idea of bringing amendments, primarily to make the Act applicable as a bailable Act, and also with regards to bringing some form of guidelines. But the practical problem is, who is to bring these guidelines? It has to be from the ministry, or it has to be from the government side, or from court. The question is whether the court will be willing to see this as something that they would want to do. I think there might be a greater chance of court thinking that this is something that should be left for Parliament or to the executive. So, there are those practical problems with bringing guidelines. Ultimately, the only deterrence that I think we can hope for in people using the law for all the wrong purposes is through awareness of the general public. I am someone who truly believes that if the public knows what the law is and what the intentions of the law actually is, I think a lot of mischief can be prevented.
That selectively people from smaller communities that are minority in numbers, are the ones who have been targeted under the hate speech provision in section 3. There are many people who spew hate, incite violence, etc. But most of the time, if they belong to the majority community or majority religion, that's ignored. But when anything remotely sounding like damaging religious sentiments or certain emotions of the majority community, persons who belong to numerically minority communities are immediately targeted and prosecuted under section 3 of the ICCPR. The selective application of the law has made a mockery of an otherwise salutary law, and we need therefore to have some guidelines promulgated either by Parliament or by the Supreme Court in how this law is to be applied, so that people who don't have the strength of numbers are not victimized under the provisions of this Act.
I firmly believe that fundamentally people want right things to be done, and it's only a question of giving them the debates, giving them the different views, and expecting them to take the right decision. Here the thing is that there is no debate, because to have a debate in itself through the ICCPR is criminalized. It's that's the way it's implemented. Alternate views should not be taken. The mainstream sort of unquestioned view must be protected. And that is the completely wrong purpose for which the law is being used. So I think it is through activism. We will support every effort that is taken with regards to bring about amendment, with regards to bring about guidelines. If Parliament can do it, obviously we will support it. But I think the most practical thing is actually going down to people and telling them what actually these things are.